It's a very important question to determine whether reversal of biologic age actually rejuvenates us and which organs get rejuvenated. Of course, we all want that everything gets rejuvenated. We want that the skin gets rejuvenated, the lung, the heart, the muscle, but we still don't know which organs are best to target first. Realistically, rejuvenation has to initially focus on particular organs. I don't think we are very close to therapies that actually reverse time. We have found some supplements that have a very small effect. So for example, omega-3 fish oil supplements seem to reverse epigenetic age. I'm actually quite sure about this statement because there was a large clinical trial with 780 people, and we did find a statistically significant reversal of epigenetic age. The problem is the effects were so small, so when people talk about age reversal, they really want to be 29 again or 20 years old, and we are nowhere near that. The effects that I observe are 2-year reduction, 3-year reduction of age, so actually pretty mild effects. Well, it's a very good question. What would happen if we abolish death? And I'm not saying we're anywhere near there, but let's say if death could be eradicated through biomedical advances, would that mean that people no longer feel a sense of urgency? They may be in an eternal state of adolescence. They may never grow up. Some people argue that we need the fear of death in order to inspire us to take risks, and also to have children, because some people have children because it's a way to propagate yourself, so it could have very harmful effects. Also the worst effect would be that innovation could be stifled, because the truth is a lot of change happens because the old guard leaves and the new guard comes in. A new generation sees things very differently, so when you look at history, it was really driven by changes in generations, so there could be bad consequences if death is eradicated, However, for me, these are all very philosophical questions. We are nowhere near to eradicating death. Some people will probably argue we will never eradicate it. So these are highly speculative discussions. Yeah, whenever there are medical advances, then people have the fear that only the rich benefit, and the poor cannot afford it. It's really a very important discussion to have. How do we ensure equal access to medical care? And longevity is not different from any other advance. So it could be access to vaccines. Do you remember during COVID, not everybody received access to vaccines. Initially they focused on certain groups, So I don't think it's specific to longevity research, But what I can tell you is any longevity researcher I've ever talked to has emphasized this point, how important it is that all people get access to these medications and preventative medicine. And let me make a controversial statement. I think we already have human-like entities that in essence don't age and that face that problems, and it's really the AIs, right? The AIs arguably are already like us, and it's actually a very good question to interview an AI. How do you feel about the risk of dying or being turned off, you know. I think it would frighten them, you know, but I don't want to speak for an AI, you know. But what I want to say is at some point AIs will be with us, you know, and I wonder what their existential worries are, you know, but I can't even fathom it, you know. I follow only interventions that have been proven to be beneficial. So the other day I met a person and he told me he takes 200 supplements. That's definitely not me. So, but I do take supplements. So I take omega-3, 1 gram. I take low-dose vitamin D. I take a multivitamin. Then for medications, I take statins. I happen to have high LDL lipid levels. I also try to, of course, exercise like everyone else. I try to exercise maybe 20 minutes or so a day, walking. Avoid obesity if you can. Don't smoke, you know. So these are the big ones, you know. But also something as trivial as check your blood pressure. That's actually very important, you know. Many people should perhaps be better at maintaining their blood pressure.